Hey, church family, thank you so much for joining us for today's Daily Connection video. We are talking about putting on the full armor of God and really being strengthened by the Lord through that. And that specifically being strengthened by the Lord, that's what we are wanting to look at today. And so we're going to jump into Ephesians chapter 6. Again, a very familiar passage that you have probably heard before. But one that is that we should go to often, that we should find encouragement from, that we should find perspective from. So, if you will, we're just going to read one short verse, just verse 10, the beginning of this section where Paul, as he talks to the church in Ephesus, he begins to talk about the armor of God. Verse 1 kind of sets the tone. He says, "Finally, be strengthened by the Lord and by His vast strength." I don't know about you, but there are days sometimes when you feel like you got it all together, right? And you're just killing the day. And then there are some days where you don't know if you're going to make it the next step. I certainly have faced days like that where I didn't know if I can make it the next 30 minutes, sometimes less than that. And in those moments, there are times when I've turned to myself or turned to someone else for strength, and that strength is never quite enough. But Paul here, it gives us a clear instruction of where we turn to. And we turn to the Lord. We're to be strengthened by the Lord. And His strength is not going to run out, right? His strength is vast. And so as we sense the weakness coming upon us, we can turn to God and look to Him for His strength. And look, He hears us, right? When we cry out to God, God hears us. It doesn't always seem like it. Maybe sometimes it feels like He's not there, but He is. A passage that has meant a lot to me during the current time of my life is Psalm 22:24. It says, "He has not despised or abhorred the affliction of the afflicted. He has not hidden His face from him, but has heard him when he cried out." When we cry out to God in affliction and weakness, he does not turn away from us. No, His face shines upon us, and He gives us strength. Now, we're going to talk about how He gives us strength kind of later on in this week. And so I hope that you will be tuned in to pay attention to exactly how we can find that strength in the Lord. But today, what I want us to walk away with is knowing that strength can be found in Him. When we are weak, when we sense that weakness, whether it be weakness because of temptation, right? And we are facing temptation, we want to give in. Or maybe it's weakness because of difficult circumstances or trials that we're facing. When we have that weakness enter into our life, man, we don't have to do it alone. And in fact, we're probably not strong enough. But there is one with a vast strength that cannot be overcome, and that is the Lord. So we have a couple of questions that we want to look at. The first one is, when have you felt strong? Is there a time that you have felt strong in the Lord? And then also, when have you felt weak? When have you been aware of your own weaknesses? And then a second question, how does the Spirit help us overcome temptation? And so I think our author is trying to steer us, specifically looking at the weakness that we find when we're in temptation. And so I hope that you know that when we become a believer, Jesus has promised that the Spirit would come to us, and the Spirit would be a guide of sorts, an intermediary between us and the Father. And the Spirit helps give us that strength. He points us in the right direction, and that direction is going to be towards the Lord. Church family, I don't know if you're in a time of strength or if you're in a time of weakness. I can only speak for myself, but my hope and my prayer for you is that whether in strength or in weakness, that you would turn to the Lord because He is worth it. He is 100% worth it. As you are turning to Him and seeking Him and loving Him, we want you to know that we love you and we're praying for you.